Q. Let me clear my throat for this. Now, Q, I know. Now, you did not go over to Joella's house and write dumb hoe on said vehicle and flatten her tires.
Lock his ass up. You going to jail.
I know you didn't do that.
You going to jail.
So I thought, you know what? Let me take a poll. And the sister said this. Joella, girl, what you gonna do? Let's get into it. Welcome back to my channel. Sass here, and yes, I'm here. What should we name this wig, y'all? Y'all know we need to name this wig. What we gonna name it? Hey, y'all, what we gonna name it? What we gonna name it? Y'all put some names of the wig in the comment section. Y'all, I couldn't go live because I was grown last night. And I'm feeling the effects today. There's no way I could have went live today, y'all. I'm sorry. Honey, this tongue would have got me in some damage, okay? So you got you a premiere and you gonna like it. Child, let's get it popping. Let's just start off with the obvious. Q, D, and Joella. So, Joella. So, as y'all know, Q was acting real weird, real secretive. And she went into the bathroom at her job. She took out she took off the mic and, you know, didn't know what was happening. Her coworkers was like, "You good? What's up? What happened?" And she was like, "Oh, no, I'm good." The producers asked her, said, "Is everything okay? Everything good?" And she was like, yeah, it's good. Everything is fine. So she gets home. And she sees D. And she says, "I need to talk to you." He was like, "Wow, what's up?" And she said, "Take your mic off, take your mic off, take your mic off." So they go in the bedroom. They're talking. They come out. And so the producers, during the confessional, the producer says, "Listen, Joella done made some accusations towards you. Do you have anything to say?" And Q said, "I don't want to talk about it." Why? Won't you want to talk about it? If I was accused of something, I'm going to let everybody know I didn't do it. No, not I. Hear ye. I did not vandalize her car. I was at my house 9 o'clock Monday. I don't want to talk about it. Now, I don't know who vandalized the car. Somebody did. Now, people are saying, not I, but people are saying that if Q didn't vandalize it herself, she know who did it. Somebody else did it. And if that is the case, that person's an idiot. So Joella said that she didn't want to talk about it. She don't know what's happening. I don't know what you're talking about. And so here's D. D was like, "Man, I didn't even know y'all was going to bring this up. I don't even know why y'all was going to bring this up." And he was walking off. Did y'all see Q's eyes? She was like, again, let me preface this. I don't know who did the vandalism. Somebody did. Now, Joella said that Q vandalized her car. I said, not the Grand Marquis. So Joella said it had to be Q because who else would do it? She said Q put my pictures on Facebook. Q know that me and Dom, that me and Dee been, doing our thing. She mad. And then, here's Joella. Joella come talking about she want me. Joella with confidence in her voice. She said, she want me. She said she want Dee and she want me. I was like, I said, not Joella said the Q want the much. Not Joella said the Q wants to be a sister. I said, girl, now I don't know about all that. So here is D. D was like talking to Q. And he said, listen, I gotta go over to Joella's house and smooth this out. Because Joella done filed charges. She done went to the cops. She done went and got paperwork. Do you know what that means? That's serious, okay? If anything comes out of this, I can't stay here. You got papers, I got papers. We cannot stay under the same roof. And so then he looks at Q and says, did you do it? And she said, no, I didn't do it. No, I didn't do it. And then here is D like this. I don't know. She is kind of convincing. But I don't know. Did she do it? Honey, even he put a question mark behind. So he was like, I gotta clear this up. Because if anything comes out of this, I gotta go. And she was like, exactly. She was like, it needs to be, something needs to be done. I didn't do it. So he goes over to Joella's house. So he said, what's up? He said, what happened? So she told the story. She was like, your girl wrote dumb hoe on my car and slashed the tires. It costed me over $600 to get that fixed. She says, that is my transportation. That is how I get to go back and forth to work, to school, for my business, haul around these kids. That's my form of transportation, just like her. That's my vehicle that I do all these things. Is I don't have any extra to be paying $600 for her foolishness. And so D was like, oh my God. He was like, why do you think she said, who else would have done it? Your girl did it and I went to the cops. So he was like, okay, how are we going to remedy this? How are we going to do this? And he said, how about if I give you the $600? Will you drop all this? And so she said, let me see the money. Let me see the money. My thing is, D, why are you willing to pay $600 if you know that your girl didn't do it? If she didn't do it, don't pay. Period. Yes, I know. You want to stay in the house. You go back over to your daddy's until this iron out. But if your girl, if Q didn't do it, why pay? So Joella says, okay, let me see the money. And he was like, okay, well, go to the police station and drop all this. She says, okay, when I see the money, I'll drop it. Until that happens, it's going forward. And Joella is exactly right. Why should I wait until you give me that $600 to drop each other? No, give me my money and then I'll think about it. How about you just giving me the $600 period, because that's the vehicle that I'm hauling your children around? How about that? Now, yes, I know, people are saying that they believe Joella slashed her own tires to make it seem like Q did it. Possibly. But this is my question. If Joella slashed her own tires just out of spite, why, if that is her vehicle where she has to do all this work and transport and hauling and all this, why would she put out $600 of her own money? Why would she do that? message you? Why? She just got $600 laying around. Okay. All right, that's some people's argument. So here is D was like, man, I'm getting up out of here. So she was like, all right. And she said, and don't forget, she said that heifer better not show up at that party. And he said, oh, she gonna show up. She gonna show up. And she said, she better not show up at that party. Let's pause right there. Let's pause, sisters. Let's pause. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the like. Let's just pause right here. If you are being accused of a crime, would you, I'm asking you, sisters, I'm asking you, the audience, you, would you show up at a party of the person who is accusing you of said crime that you say you didn't do? Would you show up? Because I can tell you right now, hell no. The only way I'm going to show up is whoop some ass. Because you're not going to accuse me of something I didn't do. And then I'm going to show up and I'm just going to show up at your party with a gift? Go back. No, I don't want anything to do with you. And if I was Joella, if I see her show up at my child's party after I believe that she did damage to my vehicle, I'm calling the cops. We either gonna fight or I'm calling the cops. You got to go. And why would you want to show up? You're being accused of a crime, ma'am. So here is D. He upset. He had the nerve to come out his ashy lips and he said, damn, why couldn't I have picked another baby mama? That's what you gonna say. You got your nerve. You have went between these two women. You have 3 children with Joella. You out here living it up with Q. And you had that statement to make. The nerve of you, sir. I don't know who you think you are, but you ain't it. You got 3 or 4 baby mamas. You got 7 kids. And then this is what you say about didn't want to make nobody a wife. Don't want to wife up nobody. But you continuously lay down with them. Absolutely ridiculous. And I don't know why these 2 women arguing over you. And then you think I'm going to risk jail time for the likes of D? Oh, no. Nah. Absolutely not. So anyway, y'all, that is Joella, Q, and D. Did Q slash them ties? Did Q do the vandalism? Let's move on. Michael and Justine, child. Michael is taking his daughter to practice driving. And he also wants to talk to Melody about getting into a fight. Let me just say this. Michael, you was locked up in her years of growth. 10 to 17. You was locked up. Those are the most important years in a female and male life. You're going through puberty. You are hitting your teenage years. You're a preteen. Your hormones is all over the place. Your emotions are over the place. You are growing. You are maturing. And you missed those years. You missed all of it. Now, what I will say, who was involved in her life between 10 and 17, I believe it was her auntie and her grandmother, did a pretty damn good job. Did a pretty damn good job. Melody seems like she's a good kid who is having having a hard time being a teenager. That's one. Being a teenager, but also being a young person whose father was in prison and dealing with a sibling who has a special need, autism. And we all know kids are mean. And she said, listen, they were picking on my brother. Okay? Now, I can only take so much. Now, my brothers are not confrontational. My brothers don't, pow, pow, poo, poo, pow, pow. They ain't got no hands. But see, that's why I'm here. I got hands. And I done told these heifers to keep my brother's name out the mouth, and so I popped it. Now, I don't know if that's what she exactly said, but that's what I hope happened. Listen, run up, get done up. Now, I'm not one for the B word. Y'all know that. I'm not one for the boom, boom, bop. But let me tell you something. Melody was taken up for her brother because he was getting picked on for him being autistic. And the only thing I got to say to that is, Melody, I hope whomever you busted in the mouth, you drug from one end of the wherever to the other end. Make them remember. Because I was always told, if you get into a fight, you make the other person remember. They will never forget it. So, she says that, and she got upset. She was crying, and it's understandable. And Michael was like, I don't want her to get in these fights or get so upset that it will lead down the wrong path. Michael, she got into a fight. Alright? Has she been beating helpers' tails for no reason? Is she a bully? Is she breaking into things? Is she a street fight? She got into a fight for protecting her brother. Yes, she has some pent-up anger that she does need to work through, but so do you. I do like that you had a conversation with her. I do like that. But it's going to take some time for her to get her emotions together because, again, you were gone between the ages of 10 and 17. Her formative years. So, it's going to take some time. No, Melody do not need to be fighting anybody. Okay? She needs to be worried about college, getting her degree, and moving on. But I will say, if they whomever was picking on her brother, and her brother she knows that her brother ain't gonna not take up for himself. Big sister stepped in. Poo poo pow. And Melody for that. Now, don't be just going around fighting folks. Okay? So, anyway, Michael and Justine talked about the wedding. Boom, boom, boom. And they are going to get married in New York because that's where all the family is. Can we move on? Yep. Troy and Z. Troy told Z, I know you mad, but guess what? I got to get in this car, and I got to take my butt to Buffalo because his brother isn't doing too well. I think his brother may be on that stuff, or he's doing something that he shouldn't be doing. The family's worried. And by family, I don't mean Mama Karen. Honey, Mama Karen had on a bodysuit. Did y'all see Mama Karen's bodysuit? I said, Mama Karen had on the City Trends bodysuit, the Shake and Go Party City wig, and the thigh-high boots. And she done got down at the JCPenney Thanksgiving Black Friday sale. Mama Karen high as hell. And so here this, Troy said, listen, I love my mother because she's my mother, but I can't stand that hoe. Imagine that. Wow. Because as we know, Mama Karen was not the best mother. Now in Mama Karen's mind, she thinks she was, but she wasn't. Mama Karen was not there for Troy. We know that. Mama Karen was out there in them streets. Mama Karen was out there doing extracurricular activities. Mama Karen was out there living. And we all know that. So no, Mama Karen cannot sit up there and say, oh, I was here for you. I was there. You know, he was there. And Troy said, child, we just going to agree to disagree. Mama Karen, I'm going to have to go with Troy on this. So he shows up and he was like, listen, have you seen Vaughn? What's going on with Vaughn? And she was like, Vaughn, fine. Ain't nothing wrong with Vaughn. When I need to talk to Vaughn, I talk to Vaughn. I talk to him. And so Troy said, well, where is he? What is he doing? Does he have a job? Is he working? What is he doing? Something's going on with Vaughn. Something's not right. And she was like, child, listen, she says, I ain't chasing after a grown man. And so he said, we're going to have to go find him. She says, I ain't finding him. She says, I ain't looking for no 26, 27, 28-year-old boy. I ain't looking for him. Vaughn, fine. Troy said he is not fine. Obviously, something is wrong. I'm going to have to go look for him. But she was like, well, child, you can. I ain't. She said, you want to get high? I was like, Mama Karen. So, of course, they bring up Z. And we know how Z and Mama Karen feel about each other. They do not like each other, period. Mama Karen done called her a B word, done told her to mind her business, to keep a name out of her mouth. And so Troy meets up with the sister. And I said, oh my. Honey, that sister got Mama Karen's face. She looked just like her mama. Real pretty girl. And, you know, they're talking about Vaughn and the situation. And they're going to go to the cemetery to visit their brother. I believe his name was Tommy. His brother was unalived through pew-pew violence. And I could say a whole lot about Troy. And I have, and I will. But this part right here, oh my God, crushing. I can't imagine losing a sibling like that. I can't imagine. How sad is that? How devastating is that? You know, Troy's upbringing was not the best, obviously. And to be incarcerated, having a troubling upbringing, having a mother that Troy says was not there as a mother, and then you lose a sibling in such a violent way. Oh, my heart went out to him. My heart went out to him, his brother, and his sister, because I know that is something that's going to stay with them for the rest of their lives. So they meet up with Vaughn. And I was like, Vaughn, are you here? Vaughn, how long you been up, boo? Vaughn looked like he been up for days. Vaughn, get some help. Now, I don't know what you're going through, but something's telling me that you need to get some help. Please. So they go to the cemetery, and Troy is just, he's so upset. Every right to be upset. He is crying, snot flying, and I was like, oh my God. That was horrible. It was sad. And I know I joke on here, and I like to make people laugh, and, you know, I try to bring some type of, you know, funny to sometimes a depressing show. And there's nothing funny about this. And I wish them well. I really do. And I hope that they are getting some type of help that they need to deal with this. Because I know that has to be crushing. That has to be crushing. I just don't. I don't know if I could handle something like that. You know, incarceration, trouble upbringing, and then a death of a sibling like that. That would put me in someone's couch. I would have to have some type of therapy. Because that is a lot. That is a lot. And very sad scene. So, Vaughn, I hope you get the help that you need. What's going on with this lighting? Alexa, turn on the second light.
Okay.
Oh, y'all, I'm sorry about the lighting. Damn. Y'all, I'm sorry. Anyway, so that's that with Troy and Z and the rest of the crew. Let's move on. Bill and Courtney. Courtney, you ain't shit. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. You are a user. Bottom line, there's nothing else to speak. What's another word to describe Courtney? She is a bona fide user. And let me just say this. I don't believe any of this. I believe that they have already been broken up. Because why is it the editing was all in shambles this whole episode? This whole episode, the editing was a hot mess. But this particular between Will and Courtney was a hot mess. I think they had already broken up before they even started recording. Or in the process of them recording the episode, they had broken up. And so the Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup producers got to piece pieces together. So anyway, so we have Courtney begging like Keith Sweat. That's all she does. Even though she got a job, she ain't got no money. Everything about her is money, 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 money. She don't care who she hurts, who she steps on. She don't care none of that. Just as long as she gets what she wants. She has not taken any accountability for any of her actions. It's someone else's fault. And for that, Courtney, you are a horrible human being. Horrible. Vile. So here she is. She was at a halfway house, and now she ain't in a halfway house, and now she's trying to find somewhere to live, and you know she's staying on this person's couch. I mean, Courtney's a hot mess. So she is in the vehicle with creepy Mark, and Mark is like, why don't you stay with me? Stay with me. I mean, you ain't got to worry about rent. You ain't got to worry about anything. Stay with me. I mean, you and Will done broke up. And of course, me and you did not sleep together. We're just friends. So just stay with me. And she was like, no, Mark, I'm not going to stay with you. You're just my friend. I mean, I did all I could do with you as a friend. Okay, I done drained you with all I can drain you because you know I'm a vampire. So, he was like, okay, we'll just take a. So, he was like, you need any money? And she was like, yes, of course she does. And so, he was like, how much? She was like, $60. I was like, $60? What is $60 gonna do? If you're gonna use these dumb, pathetic loser men, get their money. Courtney, you balling like that? I would have said, I need $500. I need $600. I need $1,600. That's what I need. So he gave her $60. Off she went. Okay? She's still squalling and whoa me about money. So she calls up her mother. I don't know why her mother even answering the phone. Because, see, she can't go to her mama's house because she got an outstanding warrant. So that ain't happening. So she calls up her mom to say, Mommy, hey, I need some money. That's how it was. These people on this show, these participants, now we have went through a whole lot of participants, but these participants have to be the most selfish, entitled, disrespectful people that we have come about in a long time. Users, liars. So here is Courtney talking to her mom, and she's asking for money. And do you know what her mom said? Her mom said, you know what, Courtney? The only reason why you call me is when you want something. That's a definition of a user. She don't call her mom to say, hey, how are you? How are you doing? You know, are you doing okay? I wish I could help you, but I can't even help myself. Is everything good with you? She don't do that. She goes straight into, I need money. And her mama said, that's why you call me? You don't ask how my day's doing, how I'm doing. You always want something. And her mother said, hell no. Good job, Mom. Good job. And she hung her wish. And then she hang up the phone. She shook her. And then Courtney was like, God. She says, way to go. She says, oh, way to go, Mom. Oh, my. Just, oh, God, Courtney is unbelievable. Here comes the rain. So anyway, so we have Will. Will says that he's done. He's over it. He's done with Courtney. She still got her sugar daddies. You know, she's in jail, not listening, and he's tired of it. So he goes and he talks to a lawyer, see how he can get this divorce going. And he asked the lawyer, listen, okay, I met her, you know, she's in prison, she done got out, she's using whatever, she's using me. And so the lawyer says, you know, we've only been together for this amount of time. And so he says, well, I have to pay her alimony. And so the lawyer said, well, no, okay, y'all have only been married for a short time. And, you know, did she do anything fraudulent that could have hurt this marriage? And so Will said, absolutely. So the lawyer said, no, you should be good on alimony. So Will is going through the process of a divorce. Good for you, I guess. And if you go through with it. And he said that he's single. Will, you need to stay single for a long time. So Courtney meets up with some girl that she knew in prison, that she was friends with in prison, but they messed around. Courtney, you got a whole lot of friends. You got a whole lot of friends. And so they're talking, and she wants to go to the pawn shop, and then all of a sudden Courtney kisses the girl. Courtney's like, mwah. And she says, oh, I forgot the camera's there. Girl, this girl is a mess. I mean, she's a hot mess. Courtney don't care. Man, woman, she don't care. Just as long as she can suck you dry, use you, and throw you away like a napkin. Man, woman, don't go anywhere near Courtney. She will take your soul from you. All while her saying that she is trying to better herself. She's innocent here. No one wants to help me. Girl, shut the entire F up. You are not a victim. You're playing one. Grow up. that good old pawn shop because she wants to pawn that $10,000 ring. Will has said over and over and over again that he got that ring, he bought that ring and it was $10,000, $10,000, $10,000. So they come to the pawn shop. Did y'all see the woman that worked at the pawn shop? She clocked it. She clocked it. Now that is a pro. Honey, the minute Courtney showed her that ring and Courtney said that she wanted $20,000, that woman went. That woman said, you know, I ain't gonna embarrass her too much. You know, these cameras are wrong. I'm gonna appease her, but this ain't even $2. This ain't even $20. So the woman done brought out these gadgets and she was like, okay, let me see if this is real. Cause see, we got something that can show that this diamond is real. That this diamond is $10,000. That woman said, I don't know who told you that. So the woman said, yeah, girl, this is not a real diamond. It's diamondoid. It's Dominique. It's plastic. Okay? This is not real. In fact, it is not worth $10,000. You're not going to get $20,000. This is worth $6. Well done, Will. Well done. See, unlike the real one that we know as Louie, Melissa got two cowards. Y'all remember that? Melissa got two cowards. And hers was real. Courtney, you literally got a bubblegum machine ring. So after this woman done cracked Courtney's face, Courtney was like, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it's real. He gave me a fake ring. Girl, yeah, he did. And good for him. Trying to pawn that ring for $20,000. Courtney, go sit down. Courtney, get on my screen. That's it, y'all. Will and Courtney, I want them off of my television. I don't ever want to see them again. Ever. And you know these Life After Lockup, Love After Lockup producers had to work overtime piecing this together. Let's move on. Last and most definitely least, Brooke. And JK. Now, Brooke has to go to get a blood test to confirm if she's pregnant. And JK supposed to be by her side. But she said JK been acting real weird lately. He's been off. She also said that JK got him a job. He's off of his ankle monitor. But since that happened, he been real independent. He been going here, there, everywhere. He ain't texting Brooke. He ain't worried about Brooke. So she calls her mom up to see if her mom will go with her. Her mom was like, where JK at? Blah, blah, blah. JK ain't here. What a shocker. And so she says, you know, JK ain't around. You know, I got to confirm to see if I'm pregnant. He don't care. All this bunch of mess. And then she comes up and then she says that she believes that JK is doing some extracurricular activities. He may be on that stuff. So they go, get the blood work done. She shows up at her house, and who's coming out? Bonnie. Because see, Brooke is upset with Bonnie because Bonnie told JK that Brooke didn't have a job. Honey, Bonnie messy, and Bonnie couldn't wait to spill the beans. Now, this is a double-edged sword. Now, there's some people out there was like, Bonnie had no business in telling JK what Brooke told her. Okay, you're entitled to that. I'm going to say this. Don't come to my job to give me tea on my friend. We're both friends. And don't expect me to tell it. Because, see, I knew JK before you. I knew JK before you. And if you don't want me to tell something, then don't tell me. Because, see, Brooke, if she really knew Bonnie, she would know that Bonnie got a big mouth. And that goes in life. If you don't want nobody to know anything, don't tell them. So Brooke is like, you couldn't keep your mouth shut, get up out my house, get your shit, get up. I can't believe you told JK. And Bonnie was like, I did. Okay, I felt the need. I needed to tell him. And so Brooke was like, yeah, because you got a big mouth. You got a big mouth, Brooke. Brooke, you got a lot of mouth. You got a whole lot of mouth. And I hope you can back that up. And so then here they going back and forth. And then Bonnie says, okay, well, since I have a big mouth, I guess you don't want to hear what I got to tell you about JK. And so here's Brooke. What? And so Bonnie says, oh, no, girl, I got a big mouth. I can't keep anything. I got a big mouth. And so Brooke said, well, what you got to tell me? If it was something so serious, you would have told me by now. She says, okay. She says, Alex miscarried JK's baby in all this time. All this time. Brooke couldn't say anything. Her mouth was closed. Do you hear me, honey? Hush. Hush. Somebody's calling your name. I'm telling you. Hush. Hush. Somebody's calling your name. I'm telling you. Hush. Hush. Somebody's calling your name. Honey, Brooke couldn't say a motherfucking thing. And so Brooke says, oh, you believe that? You believe that? And Bonnie says, I don't know. That's what Alice told me. Now, I'm going to take my stuff, and I'm going to get in my car, and I'm going to leave. Y'all can deal with it. And you know what? Next time, keep my name out your mouth. If you don't want me to know nothing, don't tell me. Have a good day. So Brooke is like, I don't believe it. You know, I don't know. He ain't using condoms. Obviously, he didn't use a rubber. He didn't use them with you. He didn't use them with you. So you know he ain't using them with Alex. So we have JK. JK done showed up at Alex's house. And y'all, the only thing I can say is, JK, instead of you blowing out Alex's back, I'm going to need for you to go to Lowe's or Home Depot and get her a new front door. Because what the fuck? Because WTF. That door is scary. It looks like you're walking into The Conjuring. It looks like it's straight out of a scary movie. Please get her a door. So he took his mic off and, you know, the producer asked him, what did you and Alice talk about? And he said, it ain't for me to say. I'm not going to discuss it. Blah, blah, blah. So we have Brooke. She everywhere but a job and with her children. She goes over to JK's mother's second job. Y'all don't hear me. JK's mom not only have a job, she have jobs. This is her second job. And then here comes Brooke over there bothering this woman with this bullshit. Another selfish one. So Brooke goes over and said that she, need to talk to her. And did you see JK's mom? This woman is so exhausted. She is exhausted. Not exhausting, she's exhausted. Hardly could walk, hardly could sit. And the only thing, Alexa, turn off the second light. And the only thing that JK and Brooke has brought to this situation, ever since he got out, is chaos and just, it's chaos. And here this woman's working 2 jobs. So Brooke tells her about the blood test, and then Brooke tells her about Alex possibly had been pregnant and she miscarried. And so the mama was like, Jesus effing Christ. What am I going to do? What do I say to that? And then the mom says, well, I'm here to let you know something's going on with JK. And she showed a video of JK just acting odd. He appears to be out of it. He appears to be high. He appears to be not all there. Now, I'm not going to say what it looked like. I'm just saying that it appears that he wasn't all there that day. His motor skills was a little slow. That's what I'm going to say. But JK always look a hot mess, so we can't really go by that. JK look a hot mess every time we see him. So JK barely works. JK out here sleeping with 2 women with no type of protection. And he's possibly on that stuff. So Brooke, she gets in her car and she says that she's going to see Alex. She wants the truth. She wants to hear it from Alex's mouth. And she don't call Alex B words. And she was like, I'm about it. Now here is Brooke. Is going to confront a woman who possibly, allegedly just miscarried to fight her while she is possibly pregnant. Brooke is the most insufferable, vile person we have ever had on this show. I've said that. Courtney ain't too far behind. After watching this episode, honey, Courtney ain't too far behind. They neck and neck. They done knocked dumpster fire Destiny down the 3rd. That's it, y'all. That's it. What do y'all think? Let me know. To my new subscribers, welcome to the family. And y'all know what to do. Don't forget to hit that like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, friends,